of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Yeah, well, this is the water. Also agua. Get ready to flow. There we go. There we go. It's all about flooding the street. Flooding. When you see we back down, blowing all over.
Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Well, what can I tell you? The heavens have opened up and the water is coming down. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. How are you people doing this morning? Yeah, I know you're feeling it this morning, right? Good morning to people who are streaming in the Caribbean, up and down the Caribbean. Good day to you. And of course, our friends and family all around the globe. Good to have you here. If you're wondering where here is, welcome to New Era TT Radio. The heartbeat of the Caribbean as we take you above and beyond. I'm your host, Sir Charles, in your company. And of course, let me take the opportunity on this wet and rainy Tuesday morning, to welcome everybody to the breakfast show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning. Good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are across planet Earth. And welcome to the breakfast show this morning. We're glad you're joining us, that you've chosen us to be your morning talk program wherever you are on the planet. A big good morning to you. And of course, as usual, a special good morning to my co-hosts, Wendell and Sir Charles.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's a rainy morning in Tuesday morning in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know if it's raining in your part of the globe, but certainly in Arima, it's been raining all morning. And based on my observation in St. James, it's also been raining all morning. So there's a good chance that the entire east-west corridor has been raining all morning. So be careful out there, people. Be careful out there. I know a lot of you will have to still go out to get your children to school and to get to work and to whatever you do early in the morning, So be careful, be careful, be careful. Walk with your umbrellas, walk with your raincoat, and just be mindful of the bad weather that I think there's a prediction that we will be having bad weather for the next few days, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw that last night somewhere trending that we are going to be having inclement
I think
weather.
that there's just a yellow alert until tomorrow.
Is it until tomorrow?
Yeah, till Wednesday, 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. or something.
Oh, okay. I gathered that it was a little more extensive than that. But thanks for that information, Richard. I see you having your cup of coffee in your plain white cup that's not identifiable.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't have any cups from anybody because they weren't delivered to me.
You never got that cup?
You never got the cup or you left the cup?
He left
I
the cup.
never got the cup. I never got the
street. I dropped off your cup and Paul's cup. And I think one was Sir Charles. I think, did you get a cup?
I got one, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Charmaine, courtesy Charmaine, the cup mark.
CJ.
CJ. Yeah, well, Charmaine. Yeah.
I mean, the audience members will know her as CJ.
Yeah, true. All right, CJ. Courtesy CJ. But you know what? I've not tried it yet, but I brought one up to have this morning. Iced coffee. Have you ever tried it?
Yeah.
I've never had it. I'm going to try it for the first time. They're selling bottles in Price Smart. I don't know. It's a big bottle though, I find. I'm not too sure.
Versions of it. You have different versions of iced coffee. You can get iced coffee in a lot of those places like Rituals and Starbucks too.
I've never tried any cold, anything iced. Any coffee that's iced or cold. I've never.
Okay.
I've always done my black coffee since meeting you, Richard. Because I actually used to drink coffee with milk and sugar,
Mm-hmm.
And then when I met you 20 odd years ago in Power 102, and I saw you drinking black coffee, I said, "What are you doing?" You said, "Brother man, this is the only way to have coffee. I don't use milk, I don't use sugar." And I tried it, and since then, people watch me and say, "What madness are you doing? Black coffee, no milk, no sugar." I say, "Yes, that's how I've had it for the 20 odd years."
Yeah, it's true. I mean, once you go black, you don't go back because
Well, we know that. We know that.
because
I'm so happy you said it this morning.
the strange thing about it is that once you start drinking black coffee, anytime somebody puts a oomph of sugar, because sometimes people figure you still want a little bit.
Still want sugar, yes.
Yeah, they might say, okay, you want the cream, or because you might be lactose intolerant or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they figure, no, you really still want a little bit of sugar is still in that.
Yes.
You instantly know.
Yes.
You instantly know once they hand you a black coffee with some sugar. Sometimes, I mean, Starbucks and Rituals are very good at it now. They understand that a lot of people drink black coffee.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of health conscious people do it too because they don't want the sugar in their system.
Right.
And now it's not a big deal for a lot of those places. They will just give it you. But previously, they used to want to add a little sugar, and you walking off and you sip it and say, "Wait, did you put sugar in this?"
Mm-hmm.
And they say, "Yes, a little bit." I say, "Could you take it back and just give me one without sugar, please?"
Yeah, I threw away a coffee the other day when they put sugar in mine too, because it's, as you say, you instantly recognize that this is not black coffee.
Yeah, it instantly changes the taste.
Yeah.
What? Yes. Yeah.
Well, only we're lucky. Not me. I want milk and I want sugar in my coffee.
So you know what I also avoid too, those 3-in-1 packs. They have sometimes you go to hotels and they give you that 3-in-1 pack that has its own milk and sugar in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use it at all.
Yeah, I only use those if there is absolutely no other coffee and that's all there is. That pack, I'll say, "Oh God, okay."
And that's a kind of a cross between people who like milk and sugar. But like for me, I don't have enough milk and sugar, so I just make sure
I just be like, I use that in desperation.
Yeah,
I really want coffee, and that's the only one available. Okay, that's it.
And I see people sometimes they put 2 and 3 sugars in their coffee and milk them, make it white. Why?
Yes, that's the real thing, Wendell. Real thing.
No. I get strange looks when I just ask for black coffee too. So I guess those people who insist on extra sugar and extra milk, I guess they will get strange looks too. But black coffee.
Well, say Starbucks and Rituals and stuff, they don't really. Then there are a lot of people who just ask. In fact, when I go, I just ask for fresh brew. I don't do Americano or anything. I just say fresh brew because I know fresh brew. You just have to turn around, fill my cup, and hand it back to me.
Yeah.
So I don't have to wait for them to call your name and all of that drama.
Yeah.
But Trinidad have a kind of strange way to things, It comes just like sometimes when you go out, like I like pizza and I like pizza with ketchup and stuff, and some people can't stand that.
Oh, God. You just take ketchup on pizza?
Yes. Yeah, you see what I mean?
Do the pineapple too?
Yes.
I don't mind pizza in whatever form, and I don't mind having the ketchup, mustard, and pepper on it, but don't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring the pizza dressed with mustard, ketchup, and pepper. No. Bring the pizza normal, and let me decide, because sometimes I don't feel for it. I don't feel for the ketchup, mustard, and pepper. Sometimes I just feel for the pizza slice as is. But sometimes I do want to dress it with ketchup, mustard, and pepper. And yes, we do put ketchup, mustard, and pepper in Trinidad on pizza. And if you've never tried it, maybe you should.
I've never tried it.
That's what I say. Maybe you should, because it really does. Because what it really is, pizza. It's a starch, really, starch and cheese, basically, with an additional meat of some sort. And of course, it's usually processed meat, which is not good for you. But not good for you, I guess, if you do it a lot. But if you're doing it now and then, oh God, it's life. Live it and be happy and smile. But when
I do that, my good friend CP, gets really annoyed.
But he must be cussing you, because all he's doing is cussing up.
Well, he gets real annoyed with that, and when we go for
He should try it sometime. He like to try all kind of things. Maybe he should try ketchup, mustard, and pepper.
I find you every morning now you attacking that man,
And the way that you say it, with that kind of assertiveness.
You go shoot a call later and just start a cussing.
But let me take the opportunity, as we were talking pizza and coffee, you understand, to let any pizza and coffee advertiser.
Well, I think coffee should definitely do it.
We can definitely have you.
We always drinking coffee every morning.
Get in contact with us.
Because it is the breakfast show.
Yes, so pizza and coffee will be nice. So,
I've had leftover pizza for breakfast already.
I had that. I actually had that yesterday. I actually had that. What's that?
I don't even like pineapple on pizza. I don't like sweet
sweet
stuff.
I don't mind it, but I have to be in the mood. I don't mind it.
No, I don't like
But sometimes I'm like, I'm not feeling good pizza with pineapple. It shifts in my mood, I guess. But
I'm one of those.
I don't hate it. No, I don't hate it.
I'm one of those. I will pick out the pieces of pineapple in a pizza.
Yeah, you're what is called a finicky eater.
Yeah, that's what. Well,
You're a finicky eater. Yeah.
People say
I'm not really a finicky eater. The only thing I would not eat is like wild meat and all of that. I don't really want. People say, "God, there's a big wild meat lamb," and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, good for you."
Yeah, I myself, I'm not into
chicken, beef, goat. That is it. I good.
Not everybody could cook wild meat, yeah?
Yeah, but I don't even want to know. You could be the best cook of wild meat. I'm not interested.
You see, if I have to smell it, the wild meat.
Oh boy, you see that nice iguana we catch. Really wonderful for you. Poor iguana.
And the lap and tattoo. And
yeah, no, not interested.
I know a lot of people will get very annoyed with us because they are into wild meat.
No, I have some friends who always telling me, boy, come, it's be big pots, it's be big lime in the yard. I'll say, power to you all. I'm not interested.
I will eat wild meat as long as I really don't know. Don't tell me what it is. And please don't have it smelling. I ain't nothing that's smelling strong. It's fresh. It's that kind of fresh.
I'm actually a vegetarian in my mind, but my rest of my body is still to follow my mind. But in my mind, I'm a vegetarian.
I will get GP to bring you some wild meat. She good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You forget where she live out.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
As we
she tell me a time they could never go hungry. She said, go hungry? What? No. The massy could close down. We just had to go in the backyard and shoot something. And I'm like,
well, something must be running across your roof right now. on the electrical cable outside. I just see Mariku running on the electrical cable sometimes.
But they don't see Mariku, they see food. Hey?
Yes, we see Mariku.
I will see you Saturday.
I saw a guy. I saw a guy what is called this big lizard where they go now. Stop and jump over the people fence and go on behind this guana, come out this planting, leave the guy in the road and take go on for this guana.
It's exciting.
I drive the other day and one of them, whatever creature in front of the car, a little stunned, and he said, "Stop the car, let's catch it." I said, "You matter what?"
And next thing you
coming in my car alive, no matter what.
Imagine that you get away in Richard car.
And up on me, I don't back it out of meat papers.
I already had a cockroach experience. Not a cockroach, a lizard experience with Richard already. Trust me.
And that lizard keep me, let me tell you something, Sir Jazz. That lizard keep me company from Arima to Port Spain, on my dashboard, right in front of the driver. Somehow it got on my dashboard, and it was on my dashboard looking out at the highway drive for the entire drive. Wow. Now, I'm not mortified of lizards that I couldn't drive or, oh my God, I need to pull this side. No. But I don't want you in the car.
Yeah.
By the time I stop, and when I reach for 1 or 2, I ask in the guard, I say, "Are you afraid of lizards?" Because I ain't holding it. But I mind the company, because as we were driving on the road, I was having a little chit chat with him. And he was very content watching out the review. But when I reached him, I said, God, you know how to get rid of lizards? Or are you afraid of lizards? And he said no. But people say no, but they're really afraid.
When they read no.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid of it, but I just don't want it in the camp, and I ain't holding it. So when I come out, oh yeah, I can do it. That's bad. Yeah. And so as he go on the dashboard, bam, 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 and the lizard hop, jump and skip. Well, I let go one customer this evening. I say you making it go further in the car now. Now it lost forever.
So Charles, I've never been cursed and abused like that in my life.
But luckily the lizard doesn't realize that he said, look, I already get a drop in the tongue. Let me not push him up any further. And he dropped out. And to this day, he's living somewhere in Power.
Yeah, this one is from the new phone.
Street.
Yeah, that is his new abode. He probably there by Tate's.
I don't know about all, but these guys have tears in my eyes this morning.
Listen, we have so many stories we can tell it.
But you know what? We have good news. Let's do our good news. We're a little behind time. Wendell, you know what? I wanted to show some of your videos as the good news.
You can do that another day, no?
No, I already downloaded them, So we could do a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I had one on mental health today. The same guy talking about mental health.
No, we'll do that. You can do it another day.
Okay.
Because mental health, we are actually celebrating Men's Mental Health Month, not so?
Well, this should suit a lot of people because this is really, but this is not a mental health thing. It's really a philosophy, and a philosophy on lying. And if it's lying in your corner, well, so be it.
200 years ago, the philosopher Immanuel Kant gave us his theory of deontology, which argues that things are right or wrong regardless of the consequences and regardless of your feelings on the matter. It's a duty-based ethical theory. Now, as a part of his deontology, Kant gives us one quite stringent rule. It is always wrong to lie under any circumstances.
Want to hear that?
He gives many arguments for this, but one of the strongest is the argument from autonomy. Because when you lie to somebody, you are robbing them of all of the information they need to make autonomous decisions. And if you rob somebody of their autonomy, you're not only doing them a disservice, but you're also reducing their humanity. Because for Kant, a human is defined by our ability to choose. We're defined by freedom. But when you lie to somebody, you are treating them as a puppet dancing to your plans and not their own. For example, let's say your friend comes to you and says, "Is my husband cheating on me?" You know that their husband is in fact having an affair, but to protect their feelings, you think you'll lie. You say, "No, absolutely not." In this case, you are depriving them of the information that they need to make their decisions about their life. You are reducing their autonomy. For Kant, we should never infantilize people. We should never lie to them. We should treat them with the dignity that their human autonomy deserves.
That man just affected three-quarters of our listeners, or probably more.
Something wrong with yes, you want to put people's life in danger. My friend, wife could ask me that, and I was going to say yes on walk. And
that man just get one collective.
What do I do?
Yeah. And have someone say, husband, is my husband should be, yeah. And it's with Carla. You didn't know that, dude?
Everybody
do that on the street. You know, finding out.
You didn't see the time?
We should not be laughing. It's a serious business.
No, it is.
And then you have somewhere to put your partner now.
If you don't laugh, you're going to cry, trust me.
Yeah.
So better you laugh.
That's a little lesson in philosophy because I follow this channel and I mean, there are all of these little tidbits on philosophy and what major philosophers have said on different things. So that's one we can't.
But I tell people, I'm incapable of lying.
Oh God!
Oh, yes.
Oh jeez! Oh jeez!
Small up. Oh dear.
In case you don't know what you're watching here, this is inside the pyramid of Giza, right? See how you have to get in there?
Hold
Get
up,
in and out.
hold up.
Yeah.
You have to literally crouch to walk inside of the pyramid.
And how long is the distance?
It's a long distance because
have to
when
walk like that?
you see how tall a pyramid is, right? And you literally go all the way up to the top inside of the pyramid.
In the pyramid now.
So there are some parts you
We
can
are
walk
going to
normal.
go inside of the pyramid, all right?
With Amin.
I mean,
So that's the pyramid, yeah. It's all stone.
oh, this is so beautiful. You will not believe it.
So you only get 2 clips of Wendell in
Egypt.
in Egypt.
In Egypt.
You know,
I'll share my camel videos one of these good days.
yeah, just giving you all an idea. It's extended good news this
All
morning.
right, we exiting the pyramid. Jeez, you wet. This was a grueling walk.
This was a workout.
Oh, Jesus.
You're literally dripping with sweat getting inside of there.
Look at this beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, because inside it look like it's hot.
There are no ventilation.
Yeah.
So you have to meet a certain requirement first. You have to be mobile, able, and certainly resilient to go inside of the pyramid.
So you're following this little chamber all the way up toward the top.
All the way up, yeah.
And when you
And some places
Alright.
you walk in normal, and some
We are
places
going inside of the pyramid. Right?
You will go
Let me
inside
turn.
from this
Let me
stone.
turn this camera.
And do that thing before you when you are going to the top, show him, take it inside, entrance.
We passing here, right?
Yes, people's pyramids in Egypt. For those listeners who are not seeing what is going on, so yeah.
yes.
But what I was when to find when you go through these are the chambers and stuff, when you get out on the top, what is there at the top?
You're in the tomb.
Like a big room, a big area.
Yeah, it's a room. It's what they call the tomb at the very top.
Sphinx
So they have some
in Egypt. Look at that.
this is the Sphinx here.
Isn't this? Look at that. And look at the pyramids right there. Look at the Sphinx.
Look at this side, please.
And when you see the dust, right? All over Egypt is that dust.
So that's a sense of, Wendell and his journeys in Egypt. All part of our good news segment for today, which we can now officially.
Traveling alone, trust me, is one of the most exciting things anybody could do.
I was watching a video last night that's showing how much tourism is down in the United States. From all parts of the planet, it was like a news item, but from
did you
all
also
parts
see
of the
the-
planet, tourism is down.
Yeah.
To the
Sorry,
United
did you also
States.
see the news on the travels to the UK? How much it has dropped?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I don't know why. Didn't I share that one in the group? The travels to the UK has dropped considerably
From Trinidad, you mean?
from Trinidad. Yeah. Well, from Trinidadians, because Trinidadians, other parts of the globe, if they have to go to the UK, also need a visa. Remember?
Yeah.
So even if you travel from the United States,
Trinidadians are basically avoiding the UK.
yes. Yes, it has dropped considerably. I don't know where I saw it, and I thought
I love how the EU president, well, the EU, what exactly is his title, who is based in Trinidad, the head of the EU in Trinidad, who said he just wanted Trinidadians and Tobagoans to know, we have no visas and you're welcome to visit Europe.
Yeah.
It's like he was making a snide comment to the UK.
But yeah,
because a lot of Trinidadians travel.
Yeah.
Beyond whoever applied for refugee status, the vast majority of Trinidadians entering the UK don't stay because Trinidadians travel all over the place. So it's really, as far as I'm concerned, mischief and stupidity on the part of the UK authority.
Yeah, I don't understand it. They've shot themselves in the foot. It's almost like if that's what they were set out to do. Because surely they know Trinidadians have the option to jump on KLM and go to Amsterdam and then go through.
Yeah, which is what people would do now. Yeah, people would take other routes.
What I've done too. So that's their business. But in other news, of course, I saw that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sean Sobers, has met with the Venezuelan ambassador here to try to take down tensions. But there was also an article coming out of the minister, the Venezuelan Minister of Interior and Justice, who called the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala, her statements as crazy. So I don't know if that came before that meeting with the ambassador or after that.
I think it came before. I think that was before. I think that was in the initial, let's call it tit for tat. I think it was initially that. But Wendell, we need to say good morning. We say good morning to our listeners and viewers. We didn't do that.
Just to remind
we didn't do that. So let's do that. Let me.
We were so busy talking all sorts of stuff this morning.
I'm telling you.
Well, while we organize, let me take a jump on it because I don't have too many people here, right? So let me say good morning to Carlin out there in Carenage, I suppose wet and rainy. Norris Ferguson, good morning to you. Archbishop Ashton Clark, good morning. Good morning to Riaz, to Anita out there in LA, Los Angeles, not Lower Aranguez, right. Valerie out there in Darby, good morning to you. Suzanne, J&J Ladies, and also good morning to Xavier or Xavier. Yeah, that's it for me.
Also, Suzanne messaged WhatsApp because she didn't message the channel, the YouTube channel this morning.
Normally she posts both sides.
Yeah, but she didn't. Marcia Rock came in first at 5:06. Melissa from Sharfle, Boy Videsi from Debe, Alistair Hart from San Fernando, Marlon Motley from Valsay North, Sherwin Kerr from Arima, but he's still in beautiful Barbados, he and his wife Juliet. Robert Taylor from Fernandina Beach, Margaret Thomas, Anthony Tinto from Ontario, Canada, Doreen Pierre, Wendy Ann James from Aranguez, Cheryl Seeley, Ozzy Molino, Cheryl Johnson, Brennan Smith from Tobago, but like in Arima, okay. Mary Grant, Lambert Bruce from El Dorado, Rena Jennings from Putty Valley. It's raining down there also. CJ from New York. CJ,
good morning, CJ.
I hope Slick Money Grip, whom I must apologize. I had said yesterday, I don't know if it's a man or woman, but I didn't meet Slick Money Grip. He came to the rum box one time. So good morning, Slick Money. Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale, Ava Smith, Kathy Ann Charles from Cascade, and from that gym that you go to in the morning, Katya, and all the business. Gavin Frank, Susie B from Arima, Claire Lendo Rollins from Tableland, Subhash Mangal, say good morning to Arlene in Bronxville, Texas. She's also locked on. Good morning, Arlene in Bronxville, Texas. Joyce Phillip, Felix Kazoo, Lester Craigwell, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Beauty Culture, also from Arima. David Wares from deep Indigo Martin. Rena confirms that black coffee is the healthiest. Brenda Isaac. David Wares said, I would like to invite you both in District Coffee Bar in Woodbrook. David, when you send your ad for Sir Charles, we'll come.
I'm going to tell you, David, we are looking for a coffee sponsor. You know, you could be here.
Yeah. District is a major breakfast point in Port Spain.
I don't know.
Look at that. Yeah, understand? Come, David.
I don't know it at all.
Yeah.
Julia Batiste, Gail and Parrot, who have all kind of animals running all over that place. Odell Guy, Carol Guevara from Chaguanas, Alistair Hart. It's against the law to put ketchup. Alistair, I subscribe to that. Ambrose Blah from New York, Oliver Manwarin, Ann Noel, Brent Hackshaw, Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Robert Harper, DL, Dwayne Sylvester, Diane Payne, Lester Cragwell, Cockridge. Lester, trust me, I drive with my windows up when I go into the countryside. DL says a scorpion whip spider in my car almost made me crash once. Scorpion
What?
Whip. Oh, you know what's a scorpion whip spider? How you know the difference? It's like
a cockroach. Let me tell you, Lester Craig. Well, a cockroach in a car can cause accident. Once I was driving and I felt something by my foot on the Eastern Main Road. I pulled to the side in dramatic flair that the drivers behind me were wondering what the hell happened. I parked up the car. I walked up the main road, bought a tin of flip, what you call bug spray. I can't remember which one it was. And I went to that car. I didn't know what the hell it was. I just sprayed that whole car. Sprayed. I emptied that tin. In that car. Close up that car, park at the side of the road, wherever it was. And I went back and I went and I had a Heineken. And I sit down and I wait.
Right. So Wendell, you see his age came out there. You hear that word he used, flit?
Yeah. That's what they used to call it when you were children.
Yes, you're very right. You're very right. Everything was flit.
Everything was flit. It had no brand name.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that is to show his age.
Magic, good morning. Brent Hackshaw is giving us a reminder about interviewing someone on sexual advances. We will work on that, Brent. Sorry. Chevon Shogun. Who else is new here? Kazim Mohammed, Joyce Phillip, Trinidad Margo is from Florida. Christopher Rowley, where he's from? Oh, he's in Germany. All right. Taran Sipasad, Joy Pilgrim Roberts, also from Orlando, Florida, one of the most beautiful places you'll ever visit. Who else? Brent Benson Stanton. What's that?
Am I ahead of you or are you
I don't know. I reached Benson Stanton. And Keanu Flavor, that's a new name. Melchizedek, Mrs. R, Cheryl M. A lot of the same names coming back up. Finbar Collins, like Richard sleeps with his car windows open. But you wouldn't like to see Richard sleep, you know. Hill Benji and Kazim Mohammed. Flit was a brand name. It was a brand name, was it?
What was Flit? Was Flit a brand name?
I think it was a brand name originally, just like Pampers, and everybody just still say Pampers.
Yes, sure.
Diapers, you know.
The same Flit was a brand name. Oh, I didn't even know that.
I think Flit was actually a brand name, like shout out.
Ron DeSantis Jr., good morning too. He came in a little late today. So we had a rousing start to today's show, people.
Good morning to Mr. Beeps also.
You need to watch it over later.
Mr. Beeps, good morning to you.
Yeah, that was no, I don't sleep with my car door open my car open at all. And this was years ago. So I'm like whenever I'm driving through the country. I remember I did a film shoot. It was it Westwood Park, boy? And we were in Grand. We were in Granans. It's not Granans.
Granans is deep up Toko side.
Yeah.
And you're almost at the end there. After Granans is after Granans. No, I'm
Matalot.
Matalot after Granans is Matalot.
Yeah. Anyway, we're on that side shooting. And it was a very rustic hotel. that we could have stayed over at. I tell them I'm driving back home because that rustic hotel was a little too rustic for me. Because first of all, there's no air conditioning, and there is like a whirring fan, but the windows kind of don't close, but they're very rustic to let in all manner. It's one of those places that you're sleeping with a net, and when you open your eye in the morning, it have all kind of things created in it. And you say, "Oh Lord, nature is wonderful. I love life and nature." I am not that person. There are people like that. I am not one of them. So every night we finish 2:00 in the morning, I drive into Hellback Arima. And of course, it's very kind of eerie because you're the only person on the night. I always figure, and you're skirting that north coast, and all you're seeing is the ocean to your left, and it's quite beautiful but eerie. And I remember when we were leaving finally, and people driving down. I always drive with my windows up because I know I'm in country, and it's nighttime, and this is their place. This is not our place. This is their place. So I am in your place. You fly all around the car and you do whatever you need to do. Just don't come in my car. And the other car in front of me, the windows open and they join in night here. All of a sudden, that car started to swerve and bacchanal. And I said, "Oh my God, what happened?" And the car stopped and everybody fly out the car. Something come in the car. I passed them, I let down my window a little bit, and I said, "It's good for all you. Only one night here in the country, it's good." And I roll back up my window and I continued my drive.
Richard, we had a correction, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up. It's Grand Revere, not Grand Anse.
Yeah, Grand Revere. I said Grand Anse. Grand Anse is in Grenada. Grand Revere.
Sam, who sent it?
Yeah.
Sentinel Lincoln Francis. Okay.
Yeah, Grand Revere.
All right, guys, we're running late on the headlines.
Well, yeah, you all do the
We're running
we will talk this morning, you know.
If we will talk again. Morning, Shilva Paul. Good morning. Who else came in there? Taran. I saw a name just now that I didn't greet. Rajiv Ramlal. Also, good morning. All right. Oh, I laugh for so this morning.
I can do the Newsday. Wendell, maybe you do the Express, and Sir Charles do the Guardian. So we make it easier for everybody.
All right. So you starting or you want me to start?
Well, I could start with the Newsday. I'm already on it.
So you starting today?
But Nicholas Puran, 29, retires from international retires from international cricket. That's one of the headlines. Breaking news is called "Condemned Tide Robbed as Bandits Come to Kill Son." Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela agree to open diplomatic channels. Sahara dust levels unhealthy for everyone. Central Police arrest 2 seized firearm, ammo, and drugs, and family of 6 who lost parents in car crash will pull together. And that's it for the main news in terms of the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday for today. I'll send it over to Wendell Stephen, who will now do the Express.
All right, we'll just have a few headlines. Minister agrees to keep diplomatic channels open, and that's Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers, who met with the Venezuelan ambassador yesterday. So that's good news. There have been calls for the former Attorney General Reginald Amo to apologize based on his comments made in the Vindra Naipaul Coolman matter, and this call has come from no less a person than the former Attorney General. Also, Anand Ram Logan. Puran shocker, and it was indeed a shock yesterday for people in the cricket world that he has retired from international cricket at age 29. I suspect it has something to do with his staying in the IPL to play instead of making himself available to the West Indies. I don't know, but Nicholas Puran has retired from international cricket at age 29. The Costa Hines takes Omnium in Track Challenge 5, and that's the headlines in today's Express Online. All right. So, Charles?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Wendell. So we move to The Guardian. And in the headlines in The Guardian, the main story is it's crazy. Venezuelan minister dismisses PM's assertions on Venezuela, calls on TNT to probe reports of weapons entering Caracas from border Spain. And then the Prime Minister, PM relationship with Maduro regime peaceful. And then there's a story with Sobers, TNT Venezuela relationships remain stable. And government rejects Amory's offer to help in impasse with Maduro regime. So quite a bit of Venezuelan stories are on The Guardian.
And then wrong offer to help the government?
Well, apparently so.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't tell us that yesterday.
He must have went after the show.
Okay.
Al-Waris claim government firing workers at RHA. AG's office, PNM set up hotline to deal with complaints. And there's another story where the appeal court clears way for $20 million payout to 9 in Naipaul Coleman lawsuit. Richard will remember that. All right. And finally, therapist slams Gatsby Dolly for politicizing school violence issue. There are plenty more, but we'll stop there.
Yeah. All right. So those are all our daily newspapers today. And of course, I'm not hearing any more raining anymore. We can open the lines, I guess. Take a few calls, and then Richard will come up with a beautiful poll for you all this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you ever had a cockroach experience?
Yeah, most wonderful cockroach experience.
Because trust me, I don't know how I would make out with a cockroach. You see, cockroach and flies, I can't stand seeing a fly. I have stuff I buy hanging up. You know, they say that if you hang it up thing with water and you put some solution in it, the flies go in it. I have all that by me, you know. I can't stand a fly, you know.
Let some of the listeners that calling in suggest a poll.
Yeah.
Let them suggest a poll for this morning.
Yeah. Or they can suggest a poll. Does that mean the people on the YouTube chat
on the comment section too? Let people suggest a poll. One of them.
Yeah.
Suggest a poll.
Whilst
we take the calls.
Right. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I saw something on social media on several feeds, and I see it didn't make headline news, so I don't want to believe it's real. But I'm putting it out there so that anybody else could confirm if it's real or not. But I saw that the FIFA has cancelled World Cup from being in the United States in the United States. It still remains in Mexico and Canada. And the games that were supposed to be held in Mexico and the United States are now being diverted to Mexico and Canada. Could someone confirm
the World Cup?
Yeah, yes, the World Cup. So, yeah, the World Cup. So
I didn't see that news at all.
Right. So as I said, I saw it only on social media. So
yeah, that ought to be wrong. That ought to be fake news. America not going to give up that kind of money to co-host.
No. America didn't give it up. FIFA took it back from them.
Nah, I doubt that.
That is what I'm hearing I'm seeing on social media. So if somebody could confirm, it would be appreciated.
All right, we'll find out. I'm sure that would have been big breaking news.
Exactly.
I think it's a rumor.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thanks very much, caller.
That would have been
I saw an article on it, and they're saying searches of Bing, DuckDuckGo, Google, and Yahoo, as well as the Associated Press, CNN, Fox News, and the Washington Post, found no credible reporting about FIFA seriously considering relocating U.S.-hosted World Cup matches outside the U.S.
Okay. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, Mrs. Alma. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Feisty
morning,
Mrs.
darling.
R.
Morning, my love. When they'll be laughing and so they'll be puppy showing my darling on the radio. They will
put them in the place, yes.
Yes,
one little lizard afraid, he's a wuss.
Yeah.
Back up. Anyhow, good morning, everyone. My thing is, first, Wendell, did you make sure, and I remember what I called for, did you remember to wish the chairman of the Tunapuna Piaco, my bestest council in the entire world, Josiah Austin, happy birthday today?
No,
today is his birthday. Okay, no problem. Happy birthday, Chairman Austin.
Yes, definitely. So I hope he's listening because I told him to make sure I log on. So happy birthday, Josiah. Friends for life. And secondly, my poll, Rich, would be: do you agree with Dr. Nian Gadsby Dolly's statement about the, what she made now? I totally agree with it. My mom doesn't agree with it, but I agree with it. But I would love
the statement.
You remember the statement she made that most of the fights and things is PNM, Sharon?
Most of the what?
Most of the school fights and stuff now.
She said that?
She said that?
Yeah, yes. I think everybody here, I'm appalled. None of you all are not tuned in and why you think the person was upset? Because a lot of people are actually against her, but I personally agree with that statement.
I don't believe Dr. Gadsby Dolly said that.
I know everybody's saying that, yes, because the doctor, and she's a professor, and she's super intelligent and everything. But to me, sometimes you have to be harsh, you have to be real, and you have to face the facts out there. And that's just my sentiment. Again, the views are my own. So I'm locked on listening, and I want to hear that poll if it's possible.
Okay.
We'll have another poll. All right. Okay. Bye. Love you guys.
I'm seeing people on the chat actually saying that she said it, but they're saying it was on the news last night. We try to get confirmation first, people. We don't want to, because that's a serious comment.
Let me read part of the Guardian article, see if it is in here. Clinical therapist and trauma theologist Dr. Hanif Benjamin says it is quite unfortunate to hear school violence and bullying being politicized, especially at a time when the issue is at such a critical stage. We have people talking about whose children it might be, whether it's a PNM child, a UNC child, or whoever child. He said yesterday, that children belonging to this country and should be protected regardless of the political affiliation of their parents or communities. Benjamin was responding to a comment made by former Education Minister Dr. Nian Gadsby Dolly on the government's no tolerance for school violence stand. Speaking during a People's National Movement meeting at the Angel Hub Spaniard in Arima on Saturday, noting that the government planned to arrest and charge, but that is not the actual.
I think what she said is that a lot of those children involved in violence come from PNM households.
Her tenure, this is the statement. Gadsby Dolly said during her tenure, the majority of the school violence occurred among students from PNM households.
But how she know that?
she must have data.
But how you know it's a PNM household? Is she aware that households have people who vote for both parties sometimes? I don't understand that statement. And if she made that statement like that, then it should be condemned.
Did she say that most of the violence?
She said, quoting Gadsby Dolly, said during her tenure, the majority of the school violence occurred amongst students from PNM households.
Well, if Dr. Gadsby Dolly, a former Minister of Education, said that, it's most unfortunate.
Right. So, how do we poll that?
I'm trying to find what is the context in which she said it, because that missing context. For her to say something like that, that's missing context. And Hilben, yes, I agree. If she did in fact say that, she failed as Education Minister. You understand? Linda is also saying her information was that the data came to her as a tent. Now, who could provide a minister with data like that and then she repeats it?
All right, so let me read a little part for you here, right? In response to the criticism, Gadsby Dolly said she spoke from a place of information, not sensationalism. She said she was in a unique position to have information that others simply would not have. And she's quoted as saying, on this basis, I am acutely aware that the PNM has an important role to play, as does the government and civil society organization in supporting parents. To this end, providing this type of support through the National Women's League is critical, Gatsby Dolly said. So
it has to have some context in terms of the internal politics that she is contesting. It has, because, and I agree with Rajiv Ramlal. Don't give that nonsense PNM and UNC children any mileage.
All right,
I agree with that.
So what is the morning poll?
Should we stop politicizing school violence?
Yeah, I agree with that. School
So
violence.
what the therapist is saying, right?
Yeah, craft that, Richard. I know you could craft things. We need to stop politicizing school violence. School children and the whole. Any issue with school children should not be politicized.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous road to go down.
All right, so while we craft that, we'll take a call or two quickly. Caller, good morning to you.
Morning, Sir Charles.
Morning, Valerie.
Morning, Wendell. Morning, Richard.
Morning.
Answer the poll now or was talking anything else?
We haven't put up the poll yet, so what poll she answering?
Answer the poll yet.
So what poll she answering? Any poll on the screen?
She must have a poll. I don't know.
No, we haven't put up the poll yet. We now crafting the poll.
I want to make my comment.
Make a comment.
On the scene as straw. No poll.
Go ahead quickly, Nappy.
So, Richard and Wendell and Sir Charles, I believe now that our Minister of CARICOM and Foreign Affairs met with the Venezuelan ambassador, I think there should be no more talking from either Barry Padarat or any other minister except diplomatically. And let's put an end to it. But hear what? I feel it might have a next discussion because the Minister of Justice called our Prime Minister a mad woman, a mad lady, right? She's
no,
mad.
You didn't call her a mad lady.
He wants an apology from that and he will say no. That's our next bacchanal.
He said her statements are crazy.
He said the statement was crazy.
Her statements are crazy. He didn't call her crazy.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The statement is not interpreted because to me, they're always interpreting things the other way. The statement is crazy. We know that. But, they will say, she said they call her, she's crazy. Yes, her statement. We know that, but you only know this turny thing, twisty thing. It never gave it the right interpretation.
No problem, Dabity.
There's our next talk coming.
Yeah.
So have a good morning and a beautiful poll.
Okay.
The Venezuelan Justice Minister exact words were, "That's crazy." The statements from that woman. We are not invading Trinidad and Tobago, nor have our vessels entered their territory.
I don't say that she's crazy, but he's saying her statement is a crazy.
All right, the morning poll is up. Do you believe that school violence is being politicized? That's our poll this morning.
Yeah,
yes or no?
That's our poll.
Do you
Morning,
believe that
Gregory,
school
I seen
violence
you
is being
yesterday.
politicized? Huh?
I know, I was telling Gregory and I seen him yesterday.
Oh, so
I went to Gregory Boy yesterday.
All right. So
281-1315, 281-1315. That's our numbers that you can call in. But you can also vote on the comment sections from Facebook, YouTube. If you're on television, you need to go to the YouTube channel and send it. Or you can send a WhatsApp to 281-1315. You can send a WhatsApp to 281-1315. Do you believe the school violence is being politicized? Of course, this is connected to the statement made by Dr. Nan Gatsby Dolly at that PNM function, where she said that a lot of those violence is coming from PNM households. Do you believe that school violence is being politicized? Yes or no?
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I just want to answer to the phone and I was going to make a little statement. I think it's being politicized. I think so, and it should be stopped. Right? I want to say I'm heartbroken this morning seeing the headline in one of the dailies that one of our better, right, Nicholas Puran, at 29 years, have resigned from international cricket. I think that is to show we know that these guys getting lucrative all over the world when they will know that they get followers.
But Mr. Billy, we can't go into it right now because we are at the poll and we're at 7 o'clock, so we'll have to deal with it another time.
Yeah.
If we have time later on, we probably
playing cricket and make some money. But Richard, we're gonna do all the results after 7, okay?
Yeah.
Even though we have a few, right?
So that's our poll. Do you believe that school violence is being politicized? Keep voting while we head to our news.
Yeah.
And
we'll
of course,
start from the top with Charles Duncan. He was the first person to vote, right? We'll start from there when we come back.
All right. And a special good
Keep
morning,
voting throughout the
Amanda. Welcome back to you, Amanda.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Tensions are simmering between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela following a diplomatic clash over border security claims. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers met with Venezuelan Ambassador Alvaro Sanchez Cordero at the ministry's headquarters today. Both parties reaffirmed long-standing ties between the neighboring nations and discussed recent concerns, particularly Venezuela's claim that a group, including a Trinidadian, tried to illegally enter Venezuelan territory. Minister Sobers repeated Trinidad and Tobago's request for official information, and both sides agreed to keep diplomatic channels open. This meeting comes after Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bisesar issued a stern warning to Venezuela, saying any unidentified vessels entering Trinidad and Tobago's waters will face deadly force. Venezuela fired back, hinting at government complicity and expressing shock at her remarks. A new board of directors has been appointed to lead the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago. Shankar Bidaisi takes the helm as chairman, with Peter Kanhai serving as deputy chairman. Other members include Dr. Roberto Osborne, Hema Sundar Singh, Omkarnath Supasad Maharaj, and Indira Bansi. At an official ceremony hosted by the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Works Minister Jearlyn John praised the board members for their willingness to serve, calling UDECOT a key driver in Trinidad and Tobago's shift toward economic diversification. Chairman Bidaisi outlined 3 guiding principles for the board's tenure: compliance with procurement laws, timely project delivery, and staying within budget. Angostura Holdings Limited is under fire over its involvement in the now controversial One Caribbean Music Festival, originally headlined by Jamaican dancehall artist Vybz Kartel. Documents reveal that in March, Angostura's board approved a massive $896,000 sponsorship and co-promotion deal for the May 31st event. However, by April, the company scaled back to a TT $400,000 sponsorship only, citing concerns over financial transparency and brand risk. Despite the reduced involvement, Angostura received exclusive alcohol sponsorship rights at the Queen's Park Savannah. A major blow came when Vybz Kartel failed to perform due to a payment dispute with event promoter Jacko Entertainment. The incident has drawn fresh scrutiny, especially since the entire board resigned last week following political pressure linked to state board appointments. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, President Irfan Ali says the newly opened multi-million-dollar Diamond Regional Hospital will provide health care for over 40,000 residents along Guyana's East Bank corridor. Speaking at the launch ceremony, President Ali emphasized that the facility represents equitable, high-quality care regardless of income or social status. This is an investment in our people, he said. The state-of-the-art hospital, built in partnership with China's Sinopharm International, features 75 inpatient beds and 3 operating theaters, constructed to meet Chinese, British, and American medical standards. The new facility is part of a Guy $37.2 billion initiative to standardize and upgrade healthcare across 5 regions in Guyana. President Ali stressed that all Guyanese, regardless of location, deserve a consistent minimum standard of care. In international news, California is taking on the Trump administration in a major legal showdown. Attorney General Rob Bonta and Governor Gavin Newsom have filed a lawsuit accusing the former president of overstepping his authority under the U.S. Constitution's 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment, part of the Bill of Rights added in 1791, reserves powers not granted to the federal government for the states. California argues that Trump's move to federalize the state's National Guard violates this constitutional boundary. In a twist, the traditionally Republican defense of states' rights is being picked up by a Democratic-led state. Legal experts say this case could revive national debate over the 10th Amendment and test the limits of presidential power in the process. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
It got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
This summer, give your child skills of a lifetime with several boot camp. Children between the ages of 5 to 17. Come enjoy Children Iron Chef Competition. Your child will learn to prepare healthy breakfast, lunch, dinner, CPR, first aid, and conflict management. With field trip, your child will be given free apron and certification upon completion. Call 492-7397 or 336-4935. Institute of Health and Fitness Company Limited, located at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
God was a friend, and we like it like that. Coming on my life like snaking out the grass. One with your fitness in the right back. One with your fitness in the right back. God was a friend, and we like it like that. Coming on my life like snaking out the grass. One with your fitness in the right back.
Well, I don't have time to beef. Lucky for you, my friend. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't cars in a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. My friend and them couldn't tell you about me. Good people, it's good people. We only want love and we circle. Yeah. My family couldn't tell you about me. Good people, it's good people. We only want love. Well, every man make their choices. I said we make sacrifices. We block out the noises. We have to forget the voices. One day we gon' make it. We don't have to fake it. I give you my best. I give you the chain of my neck. I give you my love and respect. But now hear the story. Is you vex with me? Like I do you something. Like I do you something. When I hear the shout now, is you vex with me? Like I do the wrong thing. Like I do you something. Oh, it's a good thing. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good spirit. I drink
Fresh energy. This is Net Radio Breakfast Show.
I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down.
So we welcome you back to the breakfast show here on New Era TT Radio. Just to let you know what's coming up inside our afternoon drive time exchange with Tony Fraser. How is the economy of TNT to advance to beyond its complete dependence on energy? Well, the Minister of Trade and that of Planning will reveal their intentions to the national community on the drive time exchange. That's the day from 4 p.m., right? Also involved in that discussion will be representatives of the manufacturing sector and the TNT Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be a big discussion this afternoon on the drive time exchange with Tony Fraser. So to all you people, especially on the YouTube feed, remember your next engagement will be between 4 and 6 p.m. We'll be bringing that to you live on our YouTube channel, right? Of course, make sure you check out all our platforms at newerattradio.com. So after our TV feed, you can listen to us all day on our website and also on TuneIn at New Era TT Radio. Yeah, so those are all the ways that you can get us, right? So it's wet and rainy on the outside. Let's see what the weather is going to be like for the rest of the day.
Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. This is your weather update for Tuesday, the 10th of June, 2025 from New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. We begin with an important announcement. Adverse weather alert number 1. Yellow level is in effect from 2 a.m. this morning until 4 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday. There is a medium chance, about 60%, of isolated heavy showers and thunderstorm activity associated with atmospheric instability. The most impactful weather is expected mainly over southern and eastern offshore areas this morning, slowly extending across Trinidad and Tobago. Today, expect partly cloudy conditions with a few isolated showery spells, becoming increasingly cloudy after midnight, with periods of showers or rain over some areas. There is a 60% chance of these showers becoming heavy and thundery at times, mainly during the early morning and afternoon, favoring but not confined to South Trinidad. Please be aware that gusty winds and street or flash flooding can occur in the event of heavy showers or thunderstorms. Impacts include temporary traffic disruptions, street flooding and localized ponding, displacement of objects by gusts, and difficulty anchoring marine craft. For our neighbors in the remainder of the Lesser Antilles, expect mostly fair but hazy and breezy conditions, despite a few brief isolated showers. Temperature-wise, Trinidad can expect a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius today, with a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius. In Tobago, the maximum will reach 31 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 25 degrees Celsius. With humidity factored in, the heat index will make it feel like 35 degrees Celsius in both islands. Sea conditions are moderate with wave heights of 2 to 2.5 meters in open waters, occasionally choppy near showers, and 1 to 1.5 meters in sheltered areas. The sun rose this morning at 5:43 and will set at 6:27 this evening. For those planning maritime activities today, high tides in Port of Spain will occur at 2:51 early this morning and 4:12 this afternoon, with low tides at 9:44 this morning and 9:28 tonight. In Scarborough, high tides will be at 2:23 early this morning and 3:42 this afternoon, with low tides at 9:20 this morning and 8:48 tonight. This has been your weather update for today. Please stay alert during this yellow level weather alert, secure loose objects, and exercise extreme caution in flood-prone areas. From all of us at New Era TT Radio and M&E TV, stay safe and monitor weather conditions closely.
Oh my gosh, we're packing up because we are going to Naparima Bowl.
Naparima Bowl, we coming. Naparima Bowl, we coming back.
Oh God, we have to take all of these. Everything have to go.
June the 14th, you don't want to miss it.
Listen, you see how tight it is to get through this? You better get your tickets early. 14th of June, Naparima Bowl. One show only.
14th, you coming on, let's go, listen. That's straight there? What? Tell all they know I walk by.
Somebody help!
Sensational. Yeah. What didn't I do for you, girl?
S&H Rum Box, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box, drinking out of the box.
Last call, Cipriani College, last call. RSRR Productions, Married and Mischievous is on its last call at Cipriani College. The #1 comedy that has everybody talking and laughing comes to Cipriani College for a final 2 nights. Saturday the 14th of June at 8:30 p.m. and on Father's Day, Sunday the 15th of June at 6:30 p.m. Treat your dad to this comedy, Married and Mischievous at Cipriani College. Tickets available at usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Monday 9th June. Don't miss this one. Adults only.
Great news, Caribbean. The Breakfast Show is now on M&E TV, bringing you entertaining conversations, vital information, and influential perspectives throughout Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean region. Catch us on Digicel Channel 20, Flow Channel 111, Amplia Channel 117, Blink Channel 109, Trico Channel 154, and Airlink Channel 10. The Breakfast Show connects with the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago like never before. We're now on M&E TV.
Of course, I just want to remind people that Married and Mischievous is on this weekend. Of course, this is Father's Day weekend, so we are on Sunday. So certainly bring your dad out, whoever is a father, out to the play. They will have immeasurable fun. So Married and Mischievous is on. We had a fantastic time in San Fernando on Sunday at Sapa. Oh my God, it was a wonderful show. Those Southerners were, raucous. So we are now heading to Cipriani College. Of course, this is the last 2 shows at Cipriani College. Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30. Tickets are on sale today from the Cipriani box office. Our apologies. We thought that we could have opened yesterday at the box office at Cipriani College. We couldn't. So we apologize tremendously to anybody who was inconvenienced and who went there. And I know quite a few did. But there will be sales at Cipriani College box office from today, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. You can also get tickets at K Squared Fashions, at West Mall, East Gates, and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Electronics in Arima, for those of you in Arima who are looking for tickets for this weekend, you can get your tickets there. Jubilee Rawi in Chikapuna, and Shavle Auto Services, and of course, Antoni's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza. For those of you in the Val St. area, but you all have a choice. You could either go Val Park or you can go to Cipriani College. Depends on which one you want. But Antoni's Florals in Val Park also has tickets. So you have, and of course, you can also purchase tickets online. You just have to go to RSRR Productions Theatre on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok for the information on how to accomplish that via bank transfer. And do not miss this play. Trust me, you will not regret it. Corey Pascal couldn't stop praising the play. He was like, oh my God, it was so good. It was so good.
Corey and Denise, right?
Yeah, Corey and Denise enjoyed the play. They came Sunday. So Corey want to be on stage too. I tell him, no, you're not an actor. Stick with Kes.
But I think he is an actor, actually.
I went on that road.
A good spirit.
So let's get the votes. Let me bring back up the poll before. Of course, we are speaking with Brent Batson shortly. Of course, Sergeant Brent Batson, and we'll be talking all things traffic and road safety, etc. He's the representative from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service with regard to that. And so, of course, we will be speaking to Brent shortly. So don't go anywhere. But let's just give you the results of our poll for this morning. And I'll just bring back up the poll. Here is the poll. Do you believe that school violence is being politicized? Let's get those votes.
All right. We have lots of votes on the line here. Starting with Charles Duncan, he said yes. Gregory Boyer says yes. DL, yes. Michael Williams, Long Islander, says yes. Diane Payne, yes. Trini gets fit, no. I'm not going to read your lengthy comments, people. I'm only taking poll votes, right? Rajiv Ramlal, yes. Brent Hackshaw, yes. Boy Bidesi, yes. Beauty Culture, yes. No, well, she said you see the... Okay, so she didn't vote. Lester Cragwell, no. Terence Roach, yes. Cheryl Henry, yes. Marlon Motley, yes. Julia Bidesi. Julia Batiste. Oh, Julia marrying off the boy. Julia Batiste, yes. Susan Jessup, no. Ram Naresh, yes. Michael Robinson, yes. Beauty Culture says yes. Margaret Thomas, yes. Oh boy, a lot of debate, folks. We can't read all your debate, unfortunately. Slick Money Grip, yes. Okay. I think that's it. Let me see if anything.
While you check and see if there's any stragglers coming in. Richard, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So Pauline says yes. Fia Lashley says yes. Miss Sampson, you didn't vote. Frank says yes to the poll. Valerie says yes. Miss Dabidi. Captain Ron says yes. Kent says yes. Riaz says no. Dennis says no. Aisha says Aisha didn't vote. And Luis Diaz says yes.
Okay, I have some more here for you, Richard. Melchizedek, yes. Anthony Atwell, no. Rena Jennings, yes. Emma Bain, yes. Ilarizan, no. And that's it.
Any more, Sir Charles?
No, that is it. Sorry, yeah, no others, Richard. Thank you very much. The polls are now closed.
All right, so our poll this morning was: do you believe that school violence is being politicized? Well, we had 36 people voting on the poll this morning, and of the 36 people that voted, 29 of you said yes, you do think it's being politicized. 7 of you said no, you do not think so. So 29 said yes, 7 of you said no. The yeas have it for this morning in terms of our poll. The poll is now done. Anytime you see a crumple of this paper, that means the poll done. Done.
All
right? So that's it for our poll this morning. So now you know in terms of our poll. So of course we can go to our Brent Batson interview as he's already backstage. So Brent Batson will be next in our Let's Talk segment on
Radio.
Yeah. So Brent Batson, are you there?
Yes, sir. Here I'm present.
Why you don't have on your camera, sir?
Well, that's because it's a body cam. I can see you. You can't see me.
Yeah.
Police don't like to put on body cam.
Yeah. No, I always have my body cam. I think that's one of the best things ever.
But actually, you're the only officer we've ever seen with a body cam, Sergeant Batson.
No. I'm sure. You know what? To be honest, sometimes, and I'm not
defending.
You're not appropriately dressed. Is that what he said?
I don't know what he said. Something, and he just stopped.
What happens, guys, is sometimes the body cam, when it's mounted on the black bulletproof vest, it is hard to see from a distance. So sometimes people don't even aware that it's on, and they're much smaller than they used to be, you know. So just by the way,
making excuses for the other police officers.
Oh Lord,
that's what you're doing, then, Sergeant Batson. Because
no.
we see yours. I mean, as a matter of fact, since body cams were introduced, I think you've worn it from day one.
Yes, yeah, but because I understand its benefit without a doubt, without a doubt, and I think we really have to do increased marketing. I know that there's been a lot more training and sensitization to the officers as ongoing to ensure that it's now going to be part of the
All right, but Brent, you are a sergeant, right?
He's having some internet issues apparently.
Is he having internet issues?
Apparently.
You all hearing me?
We're hearing you. Now hearing you.
Okay.
You're a sergeant, right?
That's correct.
And you're the road safety project coordinator of the TTPS, right?
That's correct.
Okay, great. So we have it right. I just want to make sure my title at the bottom was correct. But yeah. Brent, we were talking. I mean, we've spoken to you several times, but we wanted to talk to you today about the issue of the demerit points. And I know at the post-cabinet meeting on Thursday, they said it was suspended. Could you confirm that for us? Is it in fact suspended legally?
Okay, so what I'm unaware, remember a cabinet note now would be sent to the necessary agency, be it the Attorney General's office, be it the LRC.
He is having internet problems. I don't
Me,
have microphone problems.
You went out there, so you'll have to say it again, what you were saying.
Yeah, we don't know if it's the internet or if it's your microphone. I don't know what.
Yeah. Any improvement now?
But we hear you clearly, but sometimes you're missing.
Yes,
it's dropping.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try and adjust this. Tell me if there's any improvement. So, yeah. So we have not. First of all, I just want to make sure everybody's hearing me now. How's it sounding? Clear, right? Good. So, just to be clear, the demerit point system is a section of the law in the Road Traffic Act whereby, as everybody knows, for certain traffic violations, points were applied. Good? And if you meet a certain
It just went out, Brent.
Yeah, it is a microphone issue.
You think so? Okay. Give me. You want me to reconnect here, or use a different platform? You want me to call you back then? Let me call you back from a different device.
Yeah, we could do it by phone. Insofar as you're not using your camera, we can do a phone conversation. So Sir Charles will call you. Sir Charles, you have Brent's number?
Yeah.
Sergeant Batson number?
Okay, right. So just give me a minute to connect with him.
Yeah, we'll call you Sergeant Batson.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, because clearly internet is an issue. We'll call you. Right. Right. So we have Sergeant Batson on the line, and he was now about to weigh in on the demerit point issue, but he's having some internet problems. So we're gonna make a phone call instead. And Richard has his poker face on,
What poker face?
You have a poker face, Richard. You have this deadpan look sometimes you put on your face that nobody can figure it out. What is he thinking? Is he thinking married Miss Shiva? Is he thinking about Phil?
I think my face is so expressive sometimes because I was waiting in Scotia. Scotia Bank has this system where you have to take a ticket and you sit down and wait.
Yeah,
this number is stored. And I was waiting. I went in the Trinity banks. Let me tell Scotia Bank and Republic Bank, your Trinity branches are the worst. I hate coming to either of those branches because it's always too many people. Maybe it's too many people in the Trinity area, but you see that Republic Bank in Trinity and that Scotia Bank, oh God, oh Lord, mama. But anyway, I went and I sit down. I just wanted to get a certain amount of cash you couldn't get out of the. I said, okay, somebody waiting on how many cars. Yeah, doesn't take about 5 minutes. I sit down. And the teller, they take the most difficult people before me. Like, I don't even know if the people had slips, but they take some people. Oh God, they had problems. And it's some older, like one was an older man, and everything is like, what you say? What? Other side where? And I grind.
Charles was in the bank ahead of you then.
And I am trying to I'm trying to be patient, but oh
Richard, we
Lord,
have
have
Sergeant
mercy.
Richard,
Yeah.
hold up. All right, let's go back to the interview.
Because the Dedicate Friday coming as story time day.
Yes.
I have a story. You know, I always have stories.
Yeah, we know. Sergeant Batson, are you there with us?
Yes, are you hearing me a little better?
Yes, we are. Go
We're
ahead.
hearing you. Yeah, we're hearing you.
Well, I just want to mention, Richard, not to. I'm going to use your little story as a little segue there. When you, just to remind the public, please remember when you're taking out, certain volumes of cash and you're returning to your vehicle, even if somebody's waiting on you, please be vigilant. We still see reports of things happening, people being followed from, bank car parks. Remember, and there are people now whereby they're being predatory by actually parking in car parks and waiting in the car park. So you won't even know that the vehicle next to you, with the engine running, is where the bandits are, for want of a better word. So always remain vigilant, even when you're visiting these ATMs and when you're coming out to the bank with any large sums of cash. Please be highly vigilant.
That's good advice, especially I saw someone post an incident that happened, I think, at Brentwood Mall yesterday, where somebody smashed a BMW, a Mercedes Benz, and went into the trunk, and the man actually had the money, but they didn't get the money. And he came from the bank. He had withdrawn money from the bank.
Yeah, well. And so it goes, you don't know who's looking on. You know what I mean? Even when you put that in that area and so forth. Yeah. But just to get back on point with what we were speaking about. So the Demerit point system, like we said, was what we call a driver management system. And I want to be clear, that's not a police system. This is the licensing driver management database. As persons know, as you commit certain violations, they would have points attached. So, for example, parking would have 3 demerit points, seatbelt would have 4, and they have a maximum threshold of 10 demerit points, where if you reach that amount, you will be disqualified from holding a permit. The purpose across the entire world that has demerit point systems is to deter driver recidivism. Again, so reoffending of drivers who continuously breach traffic laws. The removal of it, unfortunately, it's a tool. So with the different interventions when it comes to road traffic safety, as you know, there are 3 parts that we tend to focus on. One is driver, with regards to the driver behavior, so the person that operates the machinery or the motor vehicles on the road. The other part, of course, is the vehicle integrity, making sure the vehicles are safe to use the road. And the other part is supposed to be the roadway, ensuring that you have a safe roadway for the vehicles to traverse on. But the driver, of course, being one of the most critical aspects of that whole triangular safety. So with its removal from licensing as one of the tools for that, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, because the persons, especially if they get tickets, will just pay their tickets now.
Which was the system before?
So, hello?
But that was the system before anyway. But Sergeant Batson, what is not clear to a lot of our listeners is whether demerit points are still active or not. Are the police, if you are in an interaction with a police officer today?
I was just doing the introduction. Richard, sorry. So I was going to say now, so with that now, where's the cabinet note may have gone, as far as we are aware in law, that hasn't been changed as yet.
Oh.
Right.
So police officers are still giving out demerit points.
This week, they will amend the Section 88, or I don't know if he will do it by ministerial order through the new minister. So we are waiting guidance on that. We have no guidance from the Transport Commissioner that anything has since been changed as yet. And I'm glad you raised it, Richard, from this standpoint. What we have noticed is persons are actually on social media making these comments, and I talk about on various social media channels, where since the announcement, there's been a lot of misinformation, and people saying, police can't give tickets anymore, licensing can't give tickets, they suspend the whole system. No. So I want to get this crystal clear. The demerit point system is just a feature of the fixed penalty notice system, which is the ability to issue traffic tickets or tickets with fines for the violations. All it means, it will zero the demerit point system. It's totally separate from the ticketing system with the fines. Okay.
Well,
But
we,
like I
we
said,
understand that. We
you
understand
will
that
be
part,
looking for
Sergeant Batson. But
to see
is
where.
it? Are you still issuing tickets with demerit points? That's the question.
So the answer is you will still see it on the fixed penalty notices. Yes. All right. Until the Transport Commission had licensing. I want to be clear on this. It is the licensing division that manages this part. What will happen, or what I perceive from the conversations with him, is that once it is official, when the tickets are now issued, you'll see zero, or it might be a blank space on the ticket. Until then, it's right now. It's continuing as per law until it is until we're guided or we see it in black and white that this part is now officially suspended, as you said.
All right. Now I want you to clear up something you said earlier on, though, about the revoking of someone's driver's permit if they gather a certain amount of demerit points. Is that for a period of time that your driver's permit will be suspended, or is it for in perpetuity?
No, so it's the disqualification period depends upon what, I don't know. I'm saying it's in present tense because until the law is passed, because it would no longer be relevant once that demerit point system is zeroed. You're correct. You're disqualified from holding, so it's not revocation. You're just disqualified from holding for a 6-month period if you had 10 to 13 points, 1 year if you had 15 to 19 points, and if you had 20 or more, you'll be disqualified for 2 years. So it really depends on how much points you accumulated. Again, its whole purpose was to again target the amount of reoffenders in the system. Now, what was interesting, one of the biggest challenges in that whole system was the ability to disqualify, because besides people were not at the addresses that they had down on their driver's permits, but in a lot of cases they were dodging the service and being served the letters by the licensing to disqualify. And if you didn't follow due process, you couldn't disqualify. So that's why a lot of people, even though they were disqualified on, they were pending disqualification, but they couldn't be disqualified because they couldn't be found.
Okay, so but there are other traffic violations that also generate demerit points. So it's not that the system of disqualification or suspension of a driver's permit will stop. That will still continue once you get the sufficient amount of demerit points using other traffic violations.
No, absolutely not. Our information, the entire point system is being suspended.
Or
anything with regards to disqualification of a permit, that will only occur via enforcement through the courts or through the power of the Transport Commissioner himself. Nobody else would have that authority. And
you're not going to get demerit points for anything again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because the entire process is going to be suspended. Yeah, but Sergeant Batson, what I wanted to know is how is the TTPS and the licensing office? I assume from the tone of how you started the conversation and the background and the history of the demerit points, that the TTPS and the licensing division are in favor of the demerit points, and that's my assumption from your tone. You could correct me if I'm wrong. And if that is so, is there any lobbying for the government to reconsider this suspension?
Well, the way I look at it, first of all, is that as the agency responsible for public safety, we welcome all tools and interventions that help us target that goal of injury and harm prevention on the roads. This is one of them. So if it's being removed as one of the aspects of enforcement through driver management and from a behavioral context, then it means two things it means the other areas have to be reinforced, which means we have to know focus on one, more law enforcement, and the challenges of presence, deployment of more technology through camera systems, education, definitely, ramping up the amount of education to educate the public. So if you're removing like I said, one of the interventions, then we must ramp up, for want of a better word, and even institute others as well. Road safety infrastructure, lighting, cat eyes on the road to assist drivers, more advanced warning, something to mitigate removal of an intervention.
Do you believe there's a school of thought?
You cannot dance around what to ask it, but okay. I understand that. I understand that. I understand that policy directions.
You understand what I'm saying, Richard?
From the government, you will not want to be critical of those policy directions. I understand that. I understand the position you're in.
We're the police, yeah.
Yeah, but I was just wondering whether there was any lobbying for reconsideration. So, but I understand that you may be difficult to press you to answer that.
So, but Sergeant Batson, there's a school of thought recently, and we would have expressed it here based on people making comments, that there has been an increase in road traffic accidents and fatalities since the announcement that demerit points will be stopped. How do you analyze that?
Well, they have. So, what is disturbing? Like I said, what we've had is two instances of what we call a multi-casualty incidents on the road. Right? We had a quadruple fatality, as you all know, by Claxton Bay. Over the weekend, we had a double fatal in, I believe it was Valencia or Rima side, or the Rima Bridge. So that jumped the amount of road traffic deaths significantly in that short period of time. What we have, so
wait, before you go on, sorry.
Last time 8% lower than last year, but a month ago we were 30% lower. So it has been a marked increase, but I would say, if I measured accurately and from us looking at the data that I saw, it was especially since the advent of the rainy season that we've seen that this increase in not just fatal but also serious road traffic accidents. So that mix of persons not adjusting their driving to the road conditions, and still persons, like I said, taking unnecessary chances on the roadways. I think you all would have seen in the papers where a motorcyclist lost his life day before yesterday. Also,
but you said that there was a 30% reduction before, like last month. So what is the data saying? Is the data saying at this point in June 10th, is the data saying that road traffic accidents are less this year or more this year?
Yeah,
that's a data issue.
It's lower than the same period last year, Richard.
It's lower?
Lower, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the right direction, but like I said, we were hoping for a more significant reduction. It just takes one road traffic accident to wipe out that 8%, though.
Yeah.
So especially if you have a multiple fatal. So so we continue to appeal, and we look forward to more collaboration with the agencies and working with the other stakeholders to make that difference. One thing is for sure, I want to remind drivers, if I could use this platform, please, everyone, what we're finding on the highways especially, drivers are following too close. Drivers, you'll have to remember, once your roadway is wet, you need a longer stopping distance. And remember, you still have to stop the traffic behind you that has not seen what has happened in front. We're finding we have 4 and 5 car smash-ups on the highway because people are too close to the vehicle in front. So I'm appealing to drivers, pay attention. I know you're saying if you leave too much space, a car will just cut in front. Hey, you just create more space if that's the case. And you buffer so that you can slow down that traffic behind. Most of the incidents are trivial, but even those trivial 4-car accidents, gentlemen, that adds hours of commute time to other persons who are just trying to reach their destination, just because people are not paying attention, not alert, are not practicing safe driving practices. So,
and that's an important. And that's an important thing that you're saying there, Sergeant Batson, and with regard to how people's driving habits. Because I think a lot of Trinidadian drivers are discourteous. I make no apologies; they're discourteous. A lot of them. I don't want to say the majority, but a lot are discourteous.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't want to say women either, but
no, I'm not even getting to the gender. They're just discourteous. But you're making an important point about keeping the distance. And I'm wondering, as the TTPS and the licensing office, and I assume they are listening, that those kinds of reminders about road etiquette and road safety, whether some of that signage could be on our highways, just to remind people, or remind truck drivers to keep to the left lane and not be all over the highway, shifting in and out. Because I always assume all truck drivers are drunk. No apologies to truck drivers. My apologies to all truck drivers that are sober. But I always assume that they are drunk because of how they drive. But they never keep to the left lane, which is what they're supposed to. They're all over the highway, and you see police cars passing.
All moving traffic should keep to the left, and I think you're quite right, because that's etiquette more than anything else. Everybody knows, especially in the 3 lanes, slow moving traffic should keep into the left lane. And what is more,
law, not etiquette, is law.
Yeah, well, what is frustrating is when we have to, the drivers that hog that right lane on the highway, and when we do pull them aside and we ask them, hey, why are you driving? Come out of this right lane. And they say, well, I'm doing 100, so nobody's supposed to pass me. Anybody pass me is breaking the speed limit. That's not your job. You're trying to enforce traffic laws by holding the right lane. I mean, come on. But those are some of the challenges that you meet when you're trying to change a culture. And it's happening overnight. I just want to remind everybody, 10, 12 years ago, the same time, sometimes we were over 100 road traffic deaths for the year. The fact that we're at 47 is a significant change in Trinidad and Tobago, even with an increase in motorization. So it means that there's hope. There's definitely a sign of that we can do it. And we have to become a more disciplined cultural society, especially when it comes to use of the roads and being more responsible. And of course, other persons. And I don't mean just drivers. Pedestrians are part of traffic. Cyclists are part of traffic. People seem to forget that at times.
Yeah. And so you're saying that the roads are generally safer than they were 12 years ago. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, definitely. The data shows that. In fact, if you don't mind me mentioning, the United Nations actually used us as a case study of some of the effective interventions, especially in the Caribbean, as we're one of the countries that had that significant 50% reduction in the decade of action for road safety. And that's something to be applauded for the country itself. So, like I said, it means we can do it, and we know what's right from wrong, but it's a lot of it, as you correctly said, Richard, it's selfishness in a lot of cases in the way people drive,
Yeah, Sergeant Batson, I think the shift in culture also needs to start with the TTPS, in particular the traffic police. Because I see a lot of incidents where cars are speeding and cutting in and out of lanes, and there are sometimes police cars parked at the side of the road doing their monitoring, but they never go after that car. They just stay there and so to me that is part of the culture that needs to change. Police need to go and get at these vehicles. And I'll give you an example that happened with me, and I was very happy that the policeman stopped me. Actually, I was coming on the road one day and I was about to overtake a maxi, right? And I pulled back in because I saw I was approaching a traffic light. Even though it was on green, I wasn't sure if it would change. So it would not have given me enough time to pass the maxi and get through a green light. So I pulled back in. A police officer stopped me. And he said, I saw that you were trying this thing. And I explained to him and he understood. So, and I'm saying, I was happy that he actually saw that I was about to make what could have been considered a dangerous drive. And he stopped me. But that's the culture that needs to be changed within the TTPS themselves.
Yeah, for small things, and it's the small things that start to change culture once you start to enforce and change it. But I just want to zero in one thing you mentioned. And especially to your listeners, those of you who are drivers, what makes a difference in being a good driver is your scanning and your hazard recognition. A good example is what you did. From the time you see that vehicle in front has a H on it, what does it tell you? Well, it tells you it's going to be stopping frequently. It's telling you these pedestrians at the side of the road may be passengers who flag down that vehicle in front. So you start to dress back. You also know that when you pass the vehicle, when it does stop, the backseat passenger might swing open that door on you. You know, stop the horn or give him some berth when you pass. And this is the type of thing that helps reduce the chances of collisions on the road by advanced scanning on the road, hazard recognition. And we're hoping all this will now be incorporated in the new licensing process as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because
you see those. I don't know what is the status, Brent, with regard to the issue of the speed cameras and other tools that is available to licensing and the TTPS, because I know there were also cameras by traffic lights and stuff, but I don't think they are. And I don't think they are active at this point. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they're active at this point in terms of those tools in terms of road safety.
Sure. So it's interesting because the legislation to support both red light camera and the speed cameras is present already, and good law. The technology to deploy it, though, it changed so fast that when the original tender came out to when it was actually selected and getting ready to operationalize, the technology became obsolete. Whereas, for example, it was selected for radar, but radar technology through cameras is 15 years old. Now you're using AI data analytics through the cameras itself. So the tender had to be repurposed now to accommodate these changes in the technology using light, especially with, like I said, that camera detection technology. So the last information I had, you may have seen it in the public, where the tenders had gone out for this new system. With the administrators change, we're going to have to see where that goes. But the licensing division, which should be the section that manages it, will be best geared to answer those questions.
All right, that's fine. Are you going to take some
calls, Sergeant Batson?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess we could also open the line.
Actually, guys, we can't take the calls because in my haste to get Mr. Batson, I called him on the line. The people.
Yes. Okay,
I do apologize for that. It was my fault, so I would not be able to.
No, I mean, like I said, it was for expediency, even with the technology challenge.
All right, no problem.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We could get some questions on the chat if there's anything, or I don't know if Richard has anything else he wants to add to what we are. Have you gotten any set of the new cars that are available to the TTPS?
Me personally, as your road safety coordinator, no. But so remember, we wouldn't be the commissioner and the deputy commissioner operations would organize where the priority for that distribution would occur. And those would be cars that are I would, for want of a better word, pre-booked. You know what I mean, in certain sections. But I'm sure the anti-crime and response units would get priority to make sure the public has good service for those responding to incidents. I also want to mention, as I have the opportunity here, to remind the public the importance also of wearing seatbelts. We on Beyond the Tape the other day, and to see that tickets given to drivers for non-wearing of seatbelts continues to be the second most highly ticketable traffic violation. I always tell people that it's interesting in the road traffic stop, gentlemen, that the people drive right up to the police stop, and then they say, officer, I now drive over the gas station there, I'm not going to put it on. well, at that point you're on the road and you're not wearing it, so you've committed the violation. Remember, the public says, well, oh, you can give them the blight, okay, and they can. Don't get me wrong, that's the officer's discretion. But if the officer is out there on a traffic enforcement exercise and his goal is to detect traffic violations, then he also has that duty as well to make a decision if to give that person a fixed penalty notice.
Yeah.
So fixed penalty notice again is trying to inculcate a behavior so that persons understand your process in driving is 3 parts: sit, click, and then drive.
Yeah.
Right? The problem is people sit and then drive and then try to click, and it's too late.
Yeah.
You know,
Charles,
things that can make a difference out there.
Sorry, Sergeant Batson, but Sir Charles, somebody is recommending a very
producer, the new producer,
a very bright and wonderful and smart lady is suggesting that you can conference call. So you just merge calls if people are calling on the phone.
Yeah, well, I don't want to take a chance of losing Mr. Batson in the process, you see. So
but conference call works, right?
Thanks, Chris. Thanks very much, Chris.
Do not force my hand to bring this up.
Mr. Batson, aside from all those other tech things that are coming in between there, as you mentioned about the police and the discretion, sometimes you really feel that although the police does have that discretion, but sometimes like they're just not willing to listen to you or even to exercise that discretion. It looks like if somebody from the finance ministry just tell them, go there, we need to make a certain amount of money, Well,
what I would like to say is that I would like to remind the public that, contrary to what persons might believe or in some cases may have experienced, police officers are human beings too. And sometimes they're out there to do a job. They're working. That is their job, to be out there. Sometimes the hot sun, sometimes it might be rain, depending on what has happening. And your interaction, as in how you interact with that officer at that point, can make a major difference. Whereas as compared to, we stop me for da. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, maybe the officer saying, give me a driver's pair insurance. And instead of being a customer service related, but don't antagonize the situation with trying to match any type of behavior. I would say, listen here, they have the power. The law gives them certain powers to do certain things on the roadways. The law says you must present certain documents and behave in a certain way, and that level of compliance is what they're trying to coerce just with presence. So I'm reminding persons that that just a little bit of humility sometimes. Officer, I'm so sorry. I do apologize. I always that could make a difference to me. Whereas before,
but Sergeant,
you came across as more aggressive. So I just mention it out there. That could sometimes that in the interaction make a difference.
But Sergeant, that is why I asked that question, because I have been in situations like that. Sat, listened to the officer, and then responded after, and so they just don't want to hear you sometimes, So I tell myself, like, the police have a certain quota of money to bring in for the finance ministry.
Right. So good. So let's just hit on 2 things there. One, like I said, individuals, not so. We do the officers out there. You try to explain. He's just out to. He's in I call it enforcement mode, and not any type of educational story. He don't want to hear no story, and he's going to give the education. He just wants to enforce, which is part of his job. So he chose that path. Okay. The quota, there is no quota, and I want to make that publicly clear. There's no quota for the police. There's no, and I want to be clear, all ticket revenue goes straight in the consolidated fund. It doesn't go to the TTPS and into some fund that comes back to the law enforcement officers at all. All right.
Sergeant Batson,
your point is made.
We have a comment. Since we're not taking calls because conference doesn't work, what percentage of fatal or serious accidents involve drivers who already had previous violations? That question is from Candice Pasha.
All right. Candice, that is actually some of the data that's being retrieved, because pending disqualification is what with the data we're trying to retrieve from the licensing database and linking it to the fatal. So a good example, Candace. Last weekend we had a taxi driver that drove into a guardrail. This would be in the vicinity of Gasparilla, and so he hit the guardrail. Guardrail saw it cut into the vehicle and killed his front seat passenger. And when we went on the scene, there in the vehicle, right, was the taxi driver's pending disqualification notice.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, so we're working on that data, and we're actually hoping to give some of that licensing to you. So maybe in the review, they can use that.
So was he charged, Sergeant Batson?
Even if it's low, as I mentioned, Candace, even if it's low as maybe 5 or 8%, when you translate that into life save though, or prevention, it would still be worth it.
But was he charged?
There's another caller who's saying that there are 2 police officers on Arima that have absolutely no mercy with people. I think that's a complaint you hear from Arimians who talk to me, at least, about these 2 particular police officers who are very harsh, and I think a lot of Arimians don't like them. It's coming up here. It's coming up here.
They are known. You mentioned, somebody just asked me, was he charged? Yeah. Was he driver charged?
Yes, was he charged? Yes.
Yeah. So I want to be clear. So was he charged for what, causing death by dangerous driving?
Yes, and driving with a was it a suspended permit he was driving with?
No. So he was. You remember we had mentioned that he had to receive his second letter to be disqualified.
Okay.
He was pending disqualification at the time. Yeah. So, and charge-wise, but it happened, like I said, a week ago. You know, the charge process, even before you could lay the charge, just to still go through the prosecutor's office and come back.
Well, Brent, we have to go. We have to end the interview shortly, and
sure.
One of the Child of God Indomitable Ramirez also says replace the demerit points with defensive driving mandatory for persons under 30. So I know that was one of the. I think there was some consideration to something like that for young drivers. So I don't know where that's at, but let that be your closing statement, because we have to go to our 8 o'clock news.
Sure. And like I said, we're asking the public, all these people that you see have lost their lives, you know, they thought they were going to reach where they're going to. So I want you people to reflect on that and remember that the purpose of that vehicle is to reach your destination safely, not quickly, but safely. Yeah. So please stay alert, adjust to the rainy conditions. We have a yellow weather alert. So make sure your tires in good condition, your wipers, and keep that falling distance.
All right, well, thank you so much, Sergeant Batson, for speaking with us this morning. We appreciate you, as always, taking the time to speak with us, and we always enjoy it.
We appreciate you all bringing the topic of road safety to the front always.
Oh, we will be getting back to you as soon as the actual demerit point system is abolished. We will be getting back to you.
Well, no problem. You guys be safe.
All right.
Sergeant Batson, thank you so much. Of course.
You know when you feel somebody want to say something, but they constricted? That's the impression I get from Sergeant Batson this morning. But it was nice chatting with him again. As I said, he's always been available to the media in general, and certainly to us. So thank you very much again, Sergeant Batson. Yeah. He should be the commissioner, but the way he thinks, he should be commissioner.
Do you need to continue talking, or can we go to
No, you can go to the news, brother.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Tensions are simmering between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela following a diplomatic clash over border security claims. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers met with Venezuelan Ambassador Alvaro Sanchez Cordero at the ministry's headquarters today. Both parties reaffirmed long-standing ties between the neighboring nations and discussed recent concerns, particularly Venezuela's claim that a group, including a Trinidadian, tried to illegally enter Venezuelan territory. Minister Sobers repeated Trinidad and Tobago's request for official information, and both sides agreed to keep diplomatic channels open. This meeting comes after Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bisesar issued a stern warning to Venezuela, saying any unidentified vessels entering Trinidad and Tobago's waters will face deadly force. Venezuela fired back, hinting at government complicity and expressing shock at her remarks. A new board of directors has been appointed to lead the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago. Shankar Bidaisi takes the helm as chairman, with Peter Kanhai serving as deputy chairman. Other members include Dr. Roberto Osborne, Hema Sundar Singh, Omkarnath Supasad Maharaj, and Indira Bansi. At an official ceremony hosted by the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Works Minister Jearlin John praised the board members for their willingness to serve, calling UDECOT a key driver in Trinidad and Tobago's shift toward economic diversification. Chairman Bidaisi outlined 3 guiding principles for the board's tenure: compliance with procurement laws, timely project delivery, and staying within budget. Angostura Holdings Limited is under fire over its involvement in the now controversial One Caribbean Music Festival, originally headlined by Jamaican dancehall artist Vybz Kartel. Documents reveal that in March, Angostura's board approved a massive $896,000 sponsorship and co-promotion deal for the May 31st event. However, by April, the company scaled back to a TT $400,000 sponsorship only, citing concerns over financial transparency and brand risk. Despite the reduced involvement, Angostura received exclusive alcohol sponsorship rights at the Queen's Park Savannah. A major blow came when Vybz Kartel failed to perform due to a payment dispute with event promoter Jacko Entertainment. The incident has drawn fresh scrutiny, especially since the entire board resigned last week following political pressure linked to state board appointments. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, President Irfan Ali says the newly opened multi-million-dollar Diamond Regional Hospital will provide health care for over 40,000 residents along Guyana's East Bank corridor. Speaking at the launch ceremony, President Ali emphasized that the facility represents equitable, high-quality care regardless of income or social status. This is an investment in our people, he said. The state-of-the-art hospital, built in partnership with China's Sinopharm International, features 75 inpatient beds and 3 operating theaters, constructed to meet Chinese, British, and American medical standards. The new facility is part of a Guy $37.2 billion initiative to standardize and upgrade healthcare across 5 regions in Guyana. President Ali stressed that all Guyanese, regardless of location, deserve a consistent minimum standard of care. In international news, California is taking on the Trump administration in a major legal showdown. Attorney General Rob Bonta and Governor Gavin Newsom have filed a lawsuit accusing the former president of overstepping his authority under the U.S. Constitution's 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment, part of the Bill of Rights added in 1791, reserves powers not granted to the federal government for the states. California argues that Trump's move to federalize the state's National Guard violates this constitutional boundary. In a twist, the traditionally Republican defense of states' rights is being picked up by a Democratic-led state. Legal experts say this case could revive national debate over the 10th Amendment and test the limits of presidential power in the process. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box. Drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Last call, Cipriani College, last call. RSR Productions, Married and Mischievous is on its last call at Cipriani College. The #1 comedy that has everybody talking and laughing comes to Cipriani College for a final 2 nights. Saturday the 14th of June at 8:30 p.m. and on Father's Day, Sunday the 15th of June at 6:30 p.m. Treat your dad to this comedy. Married and Mischievous at Cipriani College. Tickets available at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Monday 9th June. Don't miss this one. Adults only.
All right, so we are back. Of course, we are in the closing off minutes of the breakfast show for this morning. I know there are people in Port of Spain listening to us and viewing us. I just want to get a sense of whether it was raining in Port of Spain.
I could tell you, it's pouring rain in Arima right now. Oh, you're hearing it?
But you're not in Port of Spain, so how you could tell me?
I could tell you about St. James. Hold on. Well, it's still raining. It's just in St. James.
He has St. James on monitor, you know.
Don't mind him. You know that.
He knows how the technology works. And speaking of technology, to whoever was talking to Richard there, Mr. Batson was on a WhatsApp call. There's no conference. Yeah, I would have had to create a group call beforehand. If I took any of the other calls, I would have cut him off.
But why did you call him WhatsApp? Why didn't you call him direct?
Because remember I told you I was hustling to get him in.
So it's your error totally then.
Yes, it was that in that regard. Remember the other day when we had the other person, we didn't have that problem because I did something else. But when his stuff started to give trouble, I just called him on that number. So I do apologize.
You have some discipline in the get. Because when the real bosses call later.
I won't take the call. I won't take the call. I'll just ignore them.
Oh, them just group calling. Don't forget, don't call individually.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
When they just watch a group call, sometimes I say, may I feel to take no buff this morning.
I look at right now, he's sided with Richard because he wanted to get in Richard play bad or in the dressing room after the play. So he sided with anything with Richard.
Hey.
No, he want to come and meet the cast.
Hey. But Wendell went, I wonder. Oh, good. Wendell get cut off, boy.
Just like that.
Anyway, this is where we wrap up the breakfast show for this morning. I hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you do, despite the rain, the inconvenience of the rain. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
Indeed it is. And
you have anything to say, Wendell?
Charmaine CJ called me, and all CJ has been doing is laughing, you know. She's just started off laughing. She's can't catch herself to talk, you know. Anyway, it's been a pleasure again, people. One life, live it, and be careful out there. It's extremely rainy today. All right?
Yeah. And of course, remember that the programming continues on New Era TT Radio. Go to our tune-in feed on New Era TT Radio, or you can stream us on newerattradio.com. And of course, later on, you'll have us back on the visuals with Tony Fraser and stuff. So
that reminds me, take a pen, Richard. That reminds me. Good morning, Tony Fraser, who shared a bit of snail porn yesterday on social media in his own backyard. Tony's a tripping ready.
Of course, so keep on New Era TT Radio, and if you're watching us on M&E TV, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. We will appreciate that if you can, and like us. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. Sir Charles, you want to say anything?
Yeah, advertisers, don't forget to call us. I'm borrowing a phrase from a famous man of yesteryear. We need the money.
Max and House himself.
I don't know what that is. All I know is courts. Have a fantastic and standards and dwellings. Let me give them all of them because all of them could come. And fence.
You don't know Kopalanis.
Fence, the big fence.
You don't know Kopalanis.
What's that?
And
Kopalanis.
And sing.
Have a fantastic people. This has been the Breakfast Show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah.